Everybody. Sorry, just getting set up real quick, making sure everything is good. Stream is live. All right. So let's take a look at the markets. Let's talk about what's happened today. We do have some big news events coming up this week. I think we're going to be in a good spot for volatility. If you're a trader, I think this is going to be a very good time to pay attention. Tomorrow in particular, we do have CPI coming out. That it will be at, and I'll tell you right now, that'll be at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. That is a market mover. That's going to give us a indicator on inflation. I think that's a big deal for us. What I'm looking at right now is gold. This is gold. Gold broke its all-time high, its previous all-time high this week, setting in the new all-time high. This is the daily chart. And look, it's a clean move. It's a clean move. We've been tracking this since quite a while, but in the Discord we've been playing this little pump from this inverse head and shoulders, little bull flag breakout. Now we're starting to consolidate, putting a little bit of a top. What's up, everybody? What's up, Ben? So yeah, we're putting a little bit of a top today. Donkey gave a phenomenal short today. I'm gonna have to show you on a lower time frame exactly where he called this short at. It is ridiculous. So here's a 15, right? So I'm just gonna take this line right here. So basically, it's like right around here when we took this high. All right, we swept this high this morning around 10:30. Came up, we had a bearish engulfing on the 15. Donkey mentioned it. He's like, look, I'm looking for this high. We talked about there's divergences. You can see it right here. I'm getting rid of market cipher. But you can see the divergences, right, on the 15. As price is moving up, momentum shifting down, and what did we get? Bearish engulfing, a candle closed below it. We actually took it on the 5-minute, but we were watching on the 15 because when we saw this candle, and it failed to go back up. This is pretty much like the gate, like pretty much your entry. You got a second shot at it, and you're going to get a little bit of a bear flag right here. So if you were waiting for the breakdown and the retest, this was your retest. It was beautiful. What's up, trending? Get a little bit of like a little bit of a flag pattern kind of going, whatever you want to call this thing, right? And it broke down. It came back up, retested it. That's a money trade right there. I actually called a bit of that short. Cashed out a little bit ago. And yeah, wrote it down. And now gold is sitting at a good level. So shout out to Donkey for giving that trade earlier. And we did that live, by the way, guys. We trade every day live. Well, New York session live Monday through Friday. So look, gold's trending down right now. Where do I see it going? I mean, look, it would just make sense to maybe come back down here and test this 45.50, this breakout. Oftentimes when you break out, you come and back test. Why? It's to see if it's a real move. Are buyers going to be interested in loading up here, or is this just going to be a fade? Or are they just selling into a pump, you know? So we'll know when we get down here. So we'll keep an eye on gold in the coming days at that level. There is a CME gap down here too. Yeah, you're right. You can kind of see it at the bottom. This is from the weekend. So we do have a nice predominant CME gap. It's not a huge gap, but they could come down here and grab that. That's a good area. It also lines up, look what it lines up with. This level right here. So it wouldn't be crazy if, like, let's say this 45.50 didn't hold and they came down. They could come grab this gap. I mean, it's all a possibility. I have a little bit of a thesis where it could go. I'm going to build into that as we go. But we're watching this going down into these levels, right? I appreciate that, by the way, pointing that out. So I'm watching this trend. I am going to just continue to monitor price. I'm not in a trade at the moment. I took my trade. I'm happy with it. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But what I am watching on a higher time frame on gold is this. There's a little nice trend line that stems from the bottom of this little head and shoulders, right? See that thing right there? That lines up with this level. So this level could make a lot of sense. This 4,500. I mean, it's a whole number. It just makes sense to me. So maybe we make our way back down here. That's just gold. That's what I'm watching. Silver. Silver had a nice little pump today. Broke its high. Pumped up. Now it's starting to consolidate. We got a nice little trend on silver on the 4-hour. So silver's looking good. As long as silver can hold. I mean, we're kind of consolidating into this trend here. We got the same thing with gold. We have a little bit of a downtrend kind of floating right here, right? So maybe we make our way into this trend, or maybe we find support here, and we take another crack at that all-time high and see what happens. So I don't think this is done just yet. If I had to guess, I mean, look, your momentum on the 1 hour is resetting on silver. Silver might have a nice little pop in it. We do have, like I said, CPI tomorrow, and I think we have PPI on Wednesday. Those are going to be de-risking events. People are going to de-risk going into them. That's why we're seeing this, the precious metals moving. People are putting their money somewhere safe because they don't know what's going to happen. By the way, if you guys want to look at anything, throw it in the chat. I don't mind taking a look at tickers. What's up, Ben? I don't mind taking a look at tickers. Just don't throw in some crazy shit that like don't throw. I don't want meme coins. No meme coins. Just stuff I can chart. It can't have been out for a week because I can't really chart something with no data. Is what I'm saying. But anything else? QQQ? Yeah, we could take a look at that. I think I might actually have it, to be honest with you. So I have a little bit of a derivative of this one. Let me go to the higher time frame. So I actually have it charted up on a futures right here. So here's the futures. It's the same thing. Maybe off a couple dollars, right? Look, this is the trend you need to watch. You have a trend back from April all the way up to April of last year till now. This was when we had that tariff scare. Yeah, no, I haven't gone over BTC yet. You're not late. We were talking about this yesterday, what the possibilities are here, what could really happen. Right now, we're just consolidating. Look, this is the level it's going to have to attack. If it wants to go higher, it's going to have to break this high, and it's going to have to show some conviction. But on the flip side, if we start to lose this trend, I mean, this thing's going to come tumbling down. It's going to come tumbling down hard, and I hate to say it, but like, I mean, whew, the level it could come down to. I mean, look, think about it. This is the last breakout high of this cycle, right? Right around here. So this is just higher time frame stuff, guys. I'm just speculating. But like, yeah, if we did break this trend, I think this will be our first pit stop around 22,200, and I think maybe we make our way. I don't know if we go all the way down back to the tariff lows, but that would be crazy, right? Wouldn't it? But those are levels just to keep in mind. To the upside, look, I mean, to the upside, it's not too much above us, man. We got that 26,200. If we can break that and show some buying, people want to buy and keep pushing price up, then you'll see probably go into price discovery again. Right now, it's consolidating. Internally, you could watch this high right now. You can watch this high right here. Around, what was that? 25,750. If we could break that, there's a good chance we'll come take this high. But what I would be watching for, give me a second, serve. I'm not sure what serve is. What I'm watching for is SFPs. When it hits this high, I want to see, do we break through or do we just wick into it and then close back below, just grabbing liquidity up here that's been stacked up here. Stop losses, that kind of stuff. I'll be looking for shorts up there. But I'm not short now, I'm not long now. I'm just waiting to see what happens with this thing. So I think in a few days we're going to have a resolution, man. It's getting tight, you know. It should have a decision pretty soon. And we're getting close. Like, this trend is starting to get close, and our high is getting close. And we already had a breakout. A little bit of a breakout, not really. But this is the S&P. S&P starting to coil up too. So yeah, and this actually broke its its previous high, right, from back in like November-ish time. October. So maybe the cues are gonna follow. This thing is just kind of like I'm waiting for the same scenario here on the SPY. I'm waiting for this trend to be broken. Why? We're at the top of the channel, parallel channel, and we're just sitting up here. Just sees like a nice fat fall getting ready to happen, right? That would be a 6 short, by the way. Let's go take a look at BTC. I know somebody asked about that. Any thoughts on CVX being bullish before Q1? I'll take a look at CVX. I'm going to throw that on my list for you, and I'll tell you what I think on the charts. I don't know anything about the fundamentals, so I really wouldn't have too much on that. But let's look at BTC first. You know what? Let me look at CVX first, because I'm going to get probably a little bit more into BTC. Chevron. We were looking at Chevron the other day. We talked about this bull flag, and it actually did break out, right? So you had this bull flag. I got to go to a higher time frame to really show you what this is looking like. So this is really what's going on here, right? Let me get rid of all my squiggles and drawings. But look, this is what's going on. We had a ceiling. We had broke the ceiling. Now it is the floor. And we could see that by how price action's reacting off it. And we're also consolidating. And it looks like a bit of a bull flag to me. I mean, it's a big bull flag. I mean, that's a crazy move. And I actually drew it out just for shits and giggles. I mean, it takes you up to damn near $300. Now, internally on this thing, look what happened. We talked about this bull flag here inside, and it broke. We actually put in a nice CME gap right here, but we filled it. You can see that gap. It happened like a weekend ago. Like a week ago, yeah. And then we filled it, came back down, and now we're getting support, a bounce off this trend line, right? We broke, you know, bang, 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 hit our heads, break through, come back down, get a nice reaction off of it. So really what I'm looking for on Chevron at this point is this. Can we break above this 168 level? Can we get above the actual larger, like the higher time frame trend line? And can we break that previous high before that big drop off? Because why does this level matter? Well, look at it. We hit our heads once, we hit our head twice, hit our head 3 times. You can call this a little 4. We wicked it to grab all the liquidity, then we dumped. This level has obviously been resistance. We need to break that level. If we can break that level, I think it's a confirmed breakout on the higher time frames, and I think you could start seeing this thing mark up to $200, maybe higher. About 190 is where the high is at now, so that would be my first target if we do break that 168. So the question was, let me see. It's possible, dude. It's possible. We're in Q1 right now. Before Q1 ends. I mean, maybe before it ends. But we're technically in Q1. So, yeah, dude, look. If it gets above 170, 168 and starts to hold, I would say bullish. Bullish on CVX, man. That's what I'm thinking. If we start to close inside this trend, though, and like start to fail here and roll over, that's going to be a warning sign for me. Like, you know, starts to do this and doesn't really... You know, that's not a good thing, because then you expect you're coming all the way back down here again. So that would be the warning sign if we start to get candle closures and fail to get back above this level. We need to break out, and we need to get above that 168. And then I get bullish. So I hope that answers your question. Let's see. Should I buy shares in Netflix? I don't know, man. I can look at the charts for you, though. Give me a second. Let me go look at Bitcoin, then we'll go look at Netflix. So let me go to the daily. I'm not going to go over the macro on Bitcoin. I'm going to just start with the daily. We did that yesterday. That was Sunday. I like to do my macros in the beginning of the week and then just kind of do updates throughout the week. So look, we're still in a bear flag. Simple, right? Nice fat bear flag here. Can you guys see all the lines here? No, there you go. Now you can see them. All right, so we got this big bear flag here. And we're just kind of forming a little bit of a bottom here. Let's go into a lower time frame and see what's happening, right? So we had this channel, this freaking range that we were trading in forever. I hated this range. I hated this. It was so miserable. But look, that's the range. We broke out of the range. What are we doing right now? We're fighting to stay above. That's what we're doing. We're fighting to stay above the range right now. So until we can either definitively break back down or can hold up here, we're not really going to, like, there's, it's going to be choppy. I'll take a look at that in a little bit, trending. So we're in just Chop City right now on BTC. So what I'm watching for is, do we hold above this little trend I have here, right? You see this trend I pulled on BTC? You can see it. You got 1 touch, 2 touch, 3, 4. It's just holding, right? It's just like it's just a money line. If we start to break back below this trend, which also coincides with this previous resistance, now flipped as support, right? We start breaking back below that. I think we're coming down, probably back into like the low, into the 80s, somewhere in the 80s. You know, maybe 88, 89. We could come back down to this larger bottom of the bear flag again. All right, maybe we come back down here, retest this. If it breaks down, this is my target down here, probably around 85K, and it could break down. You know, this maybe not, maybe this isn't the pattern, but this is just something I'm watching for the time being. So yeah, I'm watching this trend on BTC, and I'm watching this level around 90,500 to the upside. We have 2 levels I like. I'm gonna go on the hourly so I can give you a little bit of context on this, right? So I really like Asia high for. They didn't take the high, right? They put in this high on Sunday, so this is the weekly high. They never took the weekly high. So what's that tell you? They're probably gearing up to take it at some point. Maybe they're going to, unless we're reversing, unless this was just the grab liquidity in reverse. So we're going to find out. It's either going to break this trend or it's going to start going to attack the high. If we can break that Asia high, I think the next level is the yearly high. I know it sounds crazy to say yearly high. It's only been 12 days. So, but the yearly high sits around 94.6. That would be my next target. You break above 92.5, it's 94.6. So those are my 2 targets to the upside. You have my targets to the downside and the immediate. If we break any higher than 94.6, I mean, it's really back up to like just about 100K. 99 to 100K is the level I'm looking at on BTC. So, yeah, that's my BTC analysis. Nothing's really changed. We've been playing it. We've been playing. I'll run you through one of the trades we took today, so you guys can see what we did. So Ben gave out a sick trade this morning. Let me get rid of some of these lines here. I want to show you exactly the trade, and I want to show you in the Discord. So this was the London low, right? London put a low in right here. I'm going to just use this line. I'm going to label it London low, so you know exactly what London low is. When New York opened, they went down. They grabbed the liquidity for London low. We had this level marked out. Ben was saying that was one of his few levels he's watching to take a trade. We came, we wicked, SFP'd, closed back in. You can even see we actually closed back inside the trend too. And we all took the trade. I don't think nobody said out loud what they were doing. We all knew the levels, but pretty much everybody called the same trade. I was in it. Nick was in it. Ben, Caden, a bunch of people in the group took this trade, and you know, a lot of people made some good money on it. I'll actually show you in the Discord real quick. Let me pull up Discord. So that's Nick's win, Donkey. That was the BTC long I was just talking about. There's Ben's win. That was the play he gave out. Literally his charts from this morning. And just some older stuff. So we post a lot of our wins and stuff in here. Setups, what we did, that kind of stuff. But yeah, man. That was a good call this morning. The whole group got it. So that was our BTC trade. Somebody asked for another ticker. AFRM. I gotta see what that is. Affirm? Yeah. Firm holdings. Alright, let's go look at it for a day trade. Alright. Let's see. So we're in an uptrend on this thing. It looks like we just broke out. Alright. Looks like there was a breakout. right around there of a trend, higher time frame trend, something like that, right? It's not perfect, but the trend is flipped on the daily. We have a little bit of a trend right now, so this could be some support. We're also sitting above, actually we're struggling above this level right now. So let me go into our lower time frames and see what's going on. All right, looking a little weak right now, gotta be honest with you. You had the breakout of this level, this like 78. What you need to see is, does price get accepted back into this little range below this resistance here? Or do we maintain above? And I'm going to get rid of this trend right now. This trend's not that big of a deal. I think you really want to focus on this 78 level. If you can get back above this 78, there's probably a trade back up to this high here. I mean, right up to here. So that would be the long. That would be TP2. For me, if I was taking a trade, not financial advice, that'd be TP1. If we can establish support, come back up, boom. Could be a trade there. You could also look for, if you like to trade SFPs, and you're looking for a day trade, you could look for a sweep of this low. There's a low right there. That's free liquidity. I just showed you a move this morning. Again, I don't know how this trades. I trade mainly Bitcoin, just because it's volatile. But the move we saw this morning was a swing failure pattern. That is an SFP. We could see something like that. I don't know if this trades that way. Every asset trades a little differently. It depends on the volatility, market cap, a lot of different things, who the participants are. Maybe it comes down to your sweeps. You get a close back in, kind of like we saw on BTC, and then you get the run back up. That could be a trade. You could also wait for price to make its way back up to this level here and SFP that. So you could look for sweeps, depending on your trade style. These two levels here are the most immediate levels I'd be watching. You do have a nice juicy level down here, but that's kind of far away. For a day trade, you'd be waiting for a while for that to happen. So those are sweeps, and if you're looking for a bounce, you could look for a reclaim of that 78 like I talked about. Look for the reclaim, look for the bounce, and you could look for maybe a long back up to there. Again, nothing's financial advice. This is just me speculating, just like how I would trade this, what I'd be looking at. Just all my levels. How much margin do I use? It depends, man. Like how much capital do I use to trade? Is that what you're asking me? It's a little personal. I mean, most leverage changes for me, so it depends. It can be anywhere from 5x, 3x to 10 to 15x. Sometimes I do 20x. Capital, I trade with a $50,000 account. I have some other accounts too. They're not as big as that one, but I had two $50,000 accounts, but I made a mistake. They're funded accounts, but yeah, I don't use the whole account for a trade. If I'm being honest with you, that's fucking stupid. What do you guys? What did you say? Want to look at Baba? I can look at Baba. MRVL. I'm thinking of doing options calls for it. I think yours was there. Marvel Technologies. Alright. Alright, so higher time frame stuff. You got a trend. Right. Could be a bear flag, right? We don't know. Could be a bear flag. Where are we at in the bear flag? Well, let's go down to the daily. Daily's saying we're getting towards the bottom, so we're going to find out. We're getting to a level where we're going to find out. So if you're looking for calls, you got to remind me, I don't trade options. The calls are up, right? Puts your to the downside, like your shorts. No, I'm live, man. I trade live. I used to trade paper when I was newer. Now you can't really develop as a trader just trading paper. You can build a system, but you won't learn the emotional side of trading. So like, you know, even if you're not profitable, I recommend learning how to trade and then switching from paper to actual throwing something in there. It doesn't have to be a lot. You don't want to lose your fucking ass on every trade, but you know, you just enough to sting a little bit to teach you a lesson when you make a mistake. So look, it's looking a little toppy here. I'll be honest with you, just by how it looks. See how it looks choppy? When you start to see these peaks, right? And notice what they're doing. This high is getting swept by this. This high is getting swept by this. And now what are they doing? They're bringing price down. So people were building shorts up here. I bet you there's some divergence here too. Yep, you can see divergence there. Bearish divergence going into those highs. Probably on the weekly. You can see it on the weekly from this high up. Look at the momentum to the downside. So the divergences are there. So they were building shorts. Now the question is, do they take this low? So what you need to be watching is this here. Get rid of all this crap. Watch this low that we're approaching. It makes sense. I'm going to actually just draw a straight line through this. Right here. So around like 81.5, 81.66, whatever this level is at I got here. It's about like 81.5. Let's call it 81.5. So we're approaching support. It's going to have a decision to make at this level because one, you're hitting that upwards channel, that trend line, and you're hitting 4-hour, probably daily level support right here. You're right, it's daily support. So price is going to do one of two things here. It's either going to bounce or it's going to just keep going. Maybe it'll stop for a little bit and chop. But if you're looking for calls, which is to the upside, I believe, maybe I'm wrong, but if you're looking for longs, this wouldn't be a bad level to look for longs. But be careful because if it does start to break, it could just continue down, and it could be really this could be the breakdown of the bear flag. So you have to be mindful. So support until it's not, but you're coming into a pivotal point. If it loses this trend, I'm pretty sure this thing's going to come down hard. It's bear flagging out. You know, they've already filled the CME gap right there, so they've gotten what they wanted to the upside. The trend is down right now. Boom. Volume's probably fading is my guess. Not too bad, not too bad. On the daily, it looks a little worse. So, yeah, I would watch that low around 81.4, 81.5, see what happens there. If you're looking for calls, that would probably be the area to look to. The next area will be this 74, but the reason I don't like it so much is because you would have broken the trend by then. So any bounce there, I would be looking for lower highs to be developing. Yeah, I'll look at pins, dude. I got you, man. I saw. I can only do one at a time, unfortunately. I'm not like that great. I'm just trying to go in order. Why can't you wait for the market to open tomorrow? You gotta... Like Pinterest? This? Pins? Pinterest? Yeah, CPI. Yeah, now CPI is a fun day to trade, man. Plus the market's gonna pick a direction tomorrow. I think CPI usually are good like pivot points for the market because there's a lot of like decision making into that and risk off, and then we get more clarity in the market. So it's gonna be nice. You're going long on it? Well, okay. What do you need me for then? I'm just messing with you, dude. Let's see. Weekly. Got a little bit of a trend here, right? We're holding this trend. Look at this shit here, dude. Look at that pop. So you're pretty much ranging right now. You're above some support here. You can see this support by this level. Right? You're above support. You're starting to try to base out above this trend. So I just want to see what the daily looks like. You see why. I know why you want to go long. It's a CME gap right there. You're probably eyeing that bad boy up, right? Yeah. I get it, man. It's not a bad trade. It'll probably be a nice trade too. Let's see. Let me look at the volume. See my little volume tool here? This is called the VRVP. This shows volume. There's no volume here because it's a gap. So it means price is going to move very quickly here. There's no buyers or sellers. It's not like going to be like, oh, a bunch of exchange of hands. It's going to move fast. So this could be a nice move, man. How I would trade this. I mean, look, I can't tell you if it's going to go up or down, but what I can tell you is this. The pattern is bullish, right? Why is the pattern bullish? Well, it's an ascending triangle, man. Ascending triangles are bullish patterns by nature. They're usually reversal patterns. Now, it's not 100%. This is a probability game. When you see an ascending triangle at the bottom after a dump at support, has a higher probability of breaking to the upside. What would the measured move be? Well, the measured move would be the width of that triangle. And then would the breakout take us? Kind of take us pretty much into the CME gap and filling it. So this could be it. You're at support. You got that going. So the way to play it, I mean, you could wait for the break into the gap, right? You could wait for price to go into the gap and then look for the back test. That's not always guaranteed. You could also try to catch a bounce if you feel comfortable trading like this. This is the way I like to trade. I like to look for retests into support, and then I'll try to get in, right? So I would look for maybe an entry down here somewhere. That way I have an invalidation pretty close by. But yeah, I mean, there's a chance. Let me look at my indicators real quick and give you a yes or no on them. I mean, they're not gonna tell us for sure, but I mean, market cipher looks good. I'll tell you straight up, market cipher looks really good. Money flow is clipping up, right? You got the anchor wave, trigger wave in this consolidation. Momentum starting to shift up, right? Price hasn't gone though, hasn't moved yet. Now let's see what volume's doing. Volume could look better, but it's here. It's up. It's up from this low, so we want to see volume start to kind of pick up a little bit, but we're still consolidating. So I think really you break $28 and you got a good shot of break 28 and actually get some closures above 28. You got a good shot of filling that gap up to 32. Could go higher than that. We don't know, but yeah, it's a nice trade, man. Well, the volume on the daily actually looks pretty good here. See how it picked up? It's creating new highs. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign, dude. Yeah, that's a good one. What else are we looking at? That's pins. I saw Baba. I looked at Alibaba yesterday. I might have TA on it. There it is. So TA is the same as yesterday. Alibaba, right? These were the levels we were looking at on the higher time frames. It's not. Look, this is a weekly, so this could take a long time to play out. But look, the next major level is about 200, 194 to 200, and then you got that 232 level. What were we doing? Well, it's just been climbing, man. It's just been bull flag, breakout, bull flag, breakout. So they're marking it up. We saw the falling wedge. We talked about this falling wedge yesterday. I actually drew it out, and I said the breakout would take us to 232, which also happens to be that level here that I just mentioned. So I think we got a shot of it. It looks good on the weekly. Alibaba does look good. Put that in the red. Mark that off. So I'd be looking for a continuation back up to 193. You might get a little bit of turbulence up there, but I think you break 193 with 232 is about your target. 230, 232 would be your target on Alibaba. Indicators look great. I mean, look at market cipher. That's a weekly trigger wave right there. Look at the stock RSI. It's completely reset every single time this thing is bottomed out and price action is consolidating. It breaks up. Bottomed out, right? Consolidating, breaks up. What do you think's going to happen now? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? I'm going to be rich. I have 275 contracts at 19 cents. Well, good for you, man. Just make sure you take profits, dude. That's all. I got you, Scott. I'm going to take a look at that for you. Just make sure you take profits. You can be rich, but you're not rich until you close out. If the trade's still open, it's still in the market's hands. Navita Semiconductors. Okay. All right. Well, We're approaching a pretty key level here. All right, you can see on the weekly why this level was important. Let's go down to the daily. So we'll see what happens when we get to that level. We're breaking resistance here, and we're actually breaking structure. So if you look at this on the daily, look, I'm going to just break down market structure for you real quick on this thing, and this is what you want to follow. You have a low, you have a high, you have a, even though it's slightly, it's higher. It's a higher low, and now you are breaking that high that you put in. That is a market structure shift. That is a daily market structure shift. So that's flipping bullish to me. Do we have volume to support it? Not so much. The weekly, it's there. It's there on the weekly. It's not showing on the daily just yet, but we're still consolidating. Let me go look at the 4 hour real quick. 4 hours bull flagging out, right? So it's looking good. It's looking good. It looks like it's if it can hold and start getting closures above this level, it's good, man. I mean, I think it's good back up to, I mean, truthfully, it's probably going to come take these highs around, probably take that high, that entire high, if it does break out. There's not much volume above this. If it breaks above this $11 level, dude, this thing's probably going to pop pretty hard. The only two levels to really look at above 11 are this $18 and this $22 level. So if it pops, it's going to go hard. So what I would watch is I'd watch the volume on the weekly. Watch for this to break out of this downtrend. When you see volume start to do this, breaking out, and price is still below this line, that might be just kind of an indicator, hey, it's time to go. So I could chart ONDS. But in the meantime, man, watch this flag on the 4 hour, right? So you want to watch this flag here, see what's happening with the price action. It's consolidating. There's no trade here right now. But this could turn into a breakout. So, but the real level you want to break is 11. We want to see that market structure shift. So ideally, this thing could still run up a little bit, get rejected, put a higher low in, and still be bullish. You know what I mean? That's what you're looking for with the daily. So I'd watch this flag, see how that plant plays out. You might be able to play that flag, but it looks good for now. Just keep an eye on it. You don't want to see this thing start to reject here, though. If it starts to lose here, it starts to come back down, you have to imagine this is just a sweep of liquidity, and they're going to come back down here for these lows around $7. But if it can start putting in higher high, like a higher high than this high here, and then come down, you look for the higher low for an entry. That would be nice. Can you please let us take a screenshot of your indicators? Yeah, man. I can tell you what they are. They're not a secret. This is Market Cipher B. Here, I'll show you. Market Cipher B right there. This is stock RSI. I use VWAP. I use volume. I use the 50-week. That's just for higher time frames, and BRVP. So if you want to take a screenshot of it, it's all on the screen right there. Can't see it on cam. I don't know what you mean you can't see it on... Oh, you mean this? Is it better? Tell me you got it, dude. Come on, that's picture perfect. I'm looking at my live right now. I can read it. No, they're not that necessary. I don't use them. Do you see them on my screen? Nah, you don't need them. They're just, look. They're just tools, dude. You know, they're just tools at the end of the day. No, move to the left. What do you mean move to the left, dude? What indicators are you trying to see? It's there, literally on the screen. What aren't you seeing? This? Market Cipher? Stock RSI? Dude, I'll type it in the chat. I'm going to type it in the chat what they are. Those are my indicators right there. Markets FRB, stock RSI, VWAP, volume, VRVP. If you want to know about the settings and all that stuff, I can't get on that on stream. Join the Discord; it's free. Tag me in Discord. I'll give you all my settings. I can walk you through it if you want. Links are in the bio, guys. Tactical Edge Trading. We have a free Discord. We have a free website. Tons of educational content on there. Ben put together a great video series. It'll teach you everything you need to know, educational wise, point you in the right direction to if you're looking to start your trading journey or if you're just trying to get better at investing, money management, that kind of stuff. So, but no, Dylan, most times when I'm TAing, I don't even use my indicators. I literally go through all the fucking charts. I look at market structure. I draw my little lines and squigglies, of course. But I don't even, dude, you don't need them. They're just there. They're just like tools at the end of the day. It's like, a fucking plumber has a tool belt or like, a carpenter has his tool set. You're not going to need tools for every job, but sometimes it helps, to have it. Which chat did you just post it in here? At Tactical Edge Trading. Do you see the Tactical Edge above ONDS and all that stuff? That's me. I typed it. And somebody? Here, I'll pin it. It's pinned. Can you see the pin? Yeah, it's there. I just scroll up a little bit. It's there. I popped it in. So I'm looking at Ondus. We were just talking about this today in our group. So let me just kind of zoom out real quick, see what's happening. I drew a bunch of squigglies. Must have an idea on this thing. Okay, so we were waiting for. I'll just give the fresh analysis on this. Not going to use yesterday's. So look, we have this high at $16 back from wherever this was, 2021. We haven't hit it yet. Tell me you guys see what I wrote in there, right? I'm pretty sure it's there. If not, I will. Dude, just join the Discord. I'll literally send you all of it. If you can't find it, it's like the last thing on my mind right now. Someone else on earlier from this time. Yeah, there was. That was Nick. That's Donkey. So I gotta focus real quick. Sorry, guys. I want to get this TA done. It takes a little bit of thinking. So $12 is our base, right? That's where we broke out of. I have a trend, but we breached the trend, right? So we talked about this trend yesterday. Or like, as long as you're above this trend, we're expecting to go for that $16 all-time high. Well, we kind of breached the trend, right? Had a little bit of a blow off top earlier. See these wicks, right? Let's talk about these wicks. These tell a story. What story do they tell? Well, here is a high. People stack liquidity. Stop loss, stop loss. What'd this wick do? Took them all out. Then it reversed. So that was a sweep of liquidity. That often it can be a top. That could be shorts, you know what I mean? Shorts being built. So we lost trend. We're starting to mark down. Market structure on the 1 hours clearly down. 4 hours still intact. But if we start to lose this low here around $12, 4-hour market structure starts to become, 4-hour market structure starts to become, at risk. It's a break of structure at that point. So for now, support is this $13 level. Watch this. This is immediate support. But as long as we're below this trend and we're below this high here at 1530, there's no way to get bullish. This is the high that's been put in. This is the low. You can look at it on the 4 hours, the same scenario. That's the high to beat, and this is our current low. So we just got to keep an eye on it. If it doesn't break it back any lower highs below $15.21 is going to be bearish. It means it's probably coming down. So it can do all this. It can come all the way up here and still do this. So that's the expectation right now. So we'll see how it plays out. But I would watch the levels to the downside I mentioned. Watch that 13, then watch that $12 level. Those are the two big levels to kind of keep an eye on. Further down, let's say it does get to that level. I mean, look, it could theoretically could come down all the way to $10 and still be okay because we have that little bit of a trend. That was the breakout. We haven't had a proper back test of this breakout, so maybe it does want to come all the way down here. We don't know. We'll see. What's up, Parker? So we'll see what happens. But those are the levels there. I wouldn't get too bullish, like I said, until we start to see this level get broken. And above it, there's not that much. It's just that 16. So just watch it on the lower time frames. There's nothing really here to like. This is like choppy price action, so it's really hard to trade this. I'd wait for these higher time frame levels to get hit before I try to even look for a trade here. But yeah, this is going to be the level to break, man. That's your level to break. These are your levels below. I hope that helps out on this. The plan's still the same, man. I'm still waiting for price to make its way down. It's either this low here and bounce, or it's going to come down to maybe here and then it bounces. Those are my plans. That's what the squiggles were earlier. If this thing's going to remain bullish, that's what we're looking for. What else? Alright, just want to see the time real quick. Alright, did we have anything else in the chat we want to see? ONDS. Oh, when you mean indicators, did you mean this? Like my tools on the side, or like my actual indicators? Maybe that's what you meant. If it is, my apologies. OCGN. What is OCGN? Let's go take a look at it. OCGN. If I can spell. Oxygen? What is oxygen? It's goated. That's all I need to hear. Oh shit, look at this thing. Oh man. Alright, you might be right, dude. Look at that. Okay, so let's talk about it. Yeah, I can see it, right? It's got a little bit of a trend. This thing is a fucking drop right here. Holy shit. So look, levels above to watch. Let's just start marking out some levels in the higher time frames that make sense. Jesus. I guess maybe here. Alright. So look, you're consolidating, right? You're starting to... What is this? Well, it's almost like a cup and handle. I don't know, I'm drawing like a wedge, but really, if you just take out the wedge, right, and just look at it, it's like a little bit of cup and handle. You got the little cup, and we're starting to get the handle. These usually break out to the upside. If it breaks out to the upside, what's the measured move? Yeah, that would make sense. Take us back up into that area there. Could happen. Also, you know, it's like a little W bottom formation. So this, you just got to break above $2. If you break above $2, you open up the floodgates to go to $3. If you break $3, you're opening it up to 5+. I mean, that's the best way I can put it on this one. This is pretty volatile. If you lose this trend, this is how I would play this, or how I would watch this. This trend is the trend's your friend. You start to break down from this trend, guess what? It's probably back down to the bottom. Wow, I'm like on full retard mode right now. It's probably back down to either this low or this low here. So you want to hold this trend, and you want to break $2 to stay bullish. So at some point, these levels are going to conjoin. You're going to hit this high here, right? So you're just going to watch price action as it does. See what it does, man. Maybe it could take months. But when it breaks out, if it does break out, it's going to be beautiful, like you said. So maybe something like that plays out. But what you don't want to see is this. Well, those are your two scenarios I see. Just keep an eye on the trend on the higher time frames. You can probably scalp the hell out of this thing on the lower time frames. There's probably tons of levels. Intraday trading. I mean, look how clean these breaks are, right? If you were just trading this, you could have just little flag, like on the downside, it's the same way. Look, flag, flag, like it's clean. It's clean. So yeah, watch $2. In the immediate short term, 165 would be support right here. So 165 is your short term support, but really you don't want to lose this level here. You don't want to lose 150. You start losing 150, you start messing around with 4-hour market structure. So you don't want to lose that 4-hour market structure. Usually 4-hour, you keep 4-hour intact and you can keep the trend going. When the 4-hour starts to go, a lot of times it starts to dig into the higher time frames and can really mess up things on the higher time frames. So what else are we looking at? IMSR. Yeah, I can take a look at that. Terrestrial energy. Oh, interesting. Energy's a good pick, man. This is new. Okay, this is really new. Alright, so let's just talk about the higher time frame levels for what we have. We don't have a lot of data here, so we're going to be limited. But what I do see is we're up against resistance, right? Why is there resistance? Well, when we were coming down from an initial launch or whenever this thing went public, it formed some type of support here. It broke down, it back tested that level and confirmed that it was going to head down a little bit more. Yeah, no problem, dude, no problem. And it's running down now. Well, it's starting to break back up. If you get back above $11, you start opening it up for some of these higher levels to take back some of this liquidity. So you could start to see this thing climb back up if it breaks 11, because this was kind of where it dropped off and then started to bottom out. Does it have divergence? No, there's no divergence there. It's still really new. This thing, like look at this thing on the weekly. Like it's a baby chart. So I mean, 4 hours probably going to give you the most indication on what's going on. It actually broke it on the 4 hour. So I mean, look. Now what you're looking for is this. You're looking for price to hold. You're looking for price to establish some support, make its way up. I would say on the 4 hour, your levels of interest, right, is probably going to be this $16 level, probably right around here, around 12.80, 13 bucks. Those are going to be your major levels of resistance that you're probably going to experience if this thing does continue to go up. Why? Because look, price reacted there. Bangs, bang, bang. It was support, then it was resistance. This was support once, and then it's resistance. So those levels, those are the areas it's going to chop around the most, I think. So those are the levels I'd be watching. You can keep an eye on this little trend down here too. If you want to set an alert, I like to set alerts on trends because it makes my life a lot easier. If the trend starts to break, I know that the trade, that my long's probably likely invalidated at that point. So I think I'm going to check BTC real quick. I need to see what it's doing. I do want to catch a trade. Looks like it's getting ready to break out, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been watching this, and I think if it breaks this trend, it's probably going for this Asia high. We'll be taking that trade. Just full disclosure. Doesn't mean you do it. Trade your own plan. Don't trade mine. Sorry, I'm just prepping my trade screen right now. So I'll show you guys a trade I'm in right now. So I took a little bit... I went a little ham today. So I took this silver long while we were on stream, right? So took the silver long right here while we were on stream. I'll show you what it looks like. So that's the trade right now. So I'm up okay. I'm waiting for this high to get taken again. What do you want to see, guys? You said OP2 and AMC. All right. Yeah, I think I got OP2 already. Will OP2 break out this year? I didn't answer that. I don't know, man. That's a hard question. If I was just looking at the charts, right? Just looking at the charts. Let's go to the weekly. I don't know, man. It's a hard question. Because look, really, you have a range. You're in a range. And you're at the bottom of the range. So you'd think if this year starts here, you have a higher probability that upside's more likely. Now, when you say breakout, I don't know. Do you mean this? Like, I'm going to close this trade out. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. So do you mean, like, for me, a breakout would be this. Break out of the range. That's a breakout. If you mean, like, that's on, like, I'm talking higher time frame. But if you mean, like, we're talking about the daily, this could be a breakout, right? So it could have already broken out. There's a trend. Here's your breakout. So, like, what time frame? What's my name on Discord? Unfair Philly. I will show you in the Discord. Hold on. This is... Can you guys see the Discord? All right, that is me. It's not my picture. Well, you guys obviously see that, but where's my name at? Why can't you see my name? It's too long. Let me just go back to this. Can you guys see what I type in the chat? I just typed it in there under Tactical Edge Trading. That's me writing in the chat. So that's my tag. So if you joined up on the Discord, shoot me, tag me, hit me up. Let me know you're in there. Let me know you watched one of the streams. If you want to ask some questions, you want to chit chat, I'm all for it, guys. I'm all for it. So optimum, let's get back to what we were talking about. Sorry, I'm deviating a little bit, guys. I'm going off on tangents and shit. So look, where do we mean by breakout? Not a day, a week. Gotcha. And like a day. I mean, dude, look at this thing. It could run up to like $3. If this breakout is clean, right, because you're at the bottom of the range, if it breaks out from, if it continues here, I mean, that's a 30-40% move back up there. If it goes back up to test these highs around $3-4, that's $84. I mean, 84%. That's pretty legit, man. And if it can break out of this little box here, I mean, you're looking at almost 550. So, are you looking at current market? I don't know what that means. I don't really know, man. Like, nobody knows if it's going to break out. The charts say that there's probably some upside in the short term. I would say you got some upside going into the high $2. There's potential for it. The market structure is starting to shift on the lower time frames. It's already shifted on the daily. Shifted on the 4-hour. We've broken trend. There are some positives, right? You have bullish divergence on the daily. I can show you right here, right? Just eyeing up some stuff, right? Just building a case for this. See this? Momentum shifting up. Price is moving down. That is bullish divergence going into support. That's usually a reversal sign. It's hella complex. It's like Fort Knox. Yeah. It'll take you 30 minutes to get in. Dude, I'm like so lost on what you guys are talking. I gotta pay attention more to what's going on in the chat. You guys seem like you're having a whole combo over here. A little sideline combo. I'm all about it though. So look, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at this high, like, you know, this 280. I think you could see that in the next few days. You do have earnings coming up, so that's interesting. Look, earnings are February, mid-February. So keep an eye on that. If it's pumping into earnings, that may, look, it's already dumped out. So maybe you do pump into earnings, but watch yourself if it does pump into earnings, because that's usually a sell the news type of event. You got to be weary of that. But I could see it pumping in the next few weeks. But will it break out this year? I don't really know. I mean, it's already broken out. What else are we looking at, guys? I don't want to get too much in that. Somebody said AMC, then I got CRWV, and then Intel. You guys are hitting me up with them today. Hey, if you're listening in, tune in. It's your first time. I'm not sure if you just give us a follow on TikTok. We do lives every day. We do have a Discord. You can give us a. You can join our Discord. It's free. We're a trading community. We do live trading. We do have some educational content on our website too, so check us out. Everything's, like I said, everything on our website is free. All the content you're going to get there, the educational stuff's free. We don't gatekeep education. It's not what we do. Now, some of the features in the Discord are paid. You have to have a paid subscription, but like to get started in the Discord, you're not going to need any of that. You're going to have tons of stuff to look at. So AMC looks like shit. I'll be honest with you, dude. Why are we looking at this? All right, so look. Somebody asked for AMC. Am I looking at the wrong? Do I? Please tell me I mislooked at the ticker. Am I really looking at AMC right now? USA 30. I can look at that too. So that's to get back into the previous range. I don't know, man. I don't even know how to chart this thing. It's just creating new lows, dude. Like the trend is down on this thing. This thing is shit. Like it hasn't like it hasn't even bottomed out yet. We don't know if this is the bottom. And it's damn near at $1.70, dude. That's terrible. But hey, let's be optimistic for a second, right? So you got this trend here. It's not the best trend, but it's a trend. See how we're hugging that? If we start to shift back above this trend, I'm gonna go to the daily for this, right? We start shifting. You could look for a move back up to here. First level I'd be watching, probably right around here, around 280. And then a second level, probably somewhere up here. Somewhere in this area, around 360. But you need the break trend, and you need to form market structure, man. Like you got it. There's no market structure that even says upside right now. So for now, the trend's down. Do you short this here? Probably not. It's already been shorted enough. I'd imagine that this thing is probably ready for a short squeeze at some point. I didn't want to say that word because I don't want anybody fucking thinking this is like the next GameStop or anything. But I mean, at some point, they're probably going to squeeze some shorts. So I'd watch those levels, man. I'd watch this little trend. Wait for some market structure to form. If you can get this is all you need. You just need this to happen. Low, high, higher low, higher high. And that's all you need for market structure. That's what you need to see. On the daily and on the 4 hour. You see that on the daily and the 4 hour, this thing is ready to probably move up a little bit. Until then, I probably wouldn't touch it to the upside. What else are we looking at? US 30. Let's take a look at US 30. This one I know I can go look at on the higher time frames. I want to check something out real quick. It's the Dow. That's what I thought it was. Okay, I think the Dow's got some room to go. So it looks like it's lagging slightly behind the S&P, right? It's in a channel. It's headed up. I mean, it's just going up. Like, there's nothing really. But I think you're probably going to see some resistance around 51 to 50,000. 50,000 to 51. Somewhere in this area, you'll probably see a little resistance. Because you're starting to get towards the top of that channel, right? To the downside, you have support, major support, around 45,100. All right, you can see there was support at one point. So that's a level you want to keep an eye on. You can also go down to your daily, take a trend line, try taking it from here first and see if it lines up. If nothing lines up, then you go basically, I wouldn't say that. I would say probably try it from here too. This might actually work. It's not really a clean trend. I wouldn't trust this trend. Yeah, this is not a good trend. Don't trust that. Probably go with this then. Like something more like that, right? It's almost like a channel in a way. Okay, so that's kind of like what it's doing. It's an upwards channel. This is your low. So as long as it's above this trend right now, you got 3 decent touches on the daily. As long as it's above this, it's bullish. If it starts to break below this, it starts to lose lows, like if it starts to lose this low here, that's your first red flag. Around 47,800, because that would be a daily loss. That would be a daily low taken. Above that's good. Even more closer up, if we're going to like talk about a day trade or anything like that, it's gonna go down tomorrow, maybe. Usually when we pump in like CPI events, usually it's a sign for reversal coming after. So look, we broke the channel and we're consolidating above it. As long as we're above this, I'd stay in the short term bullish. The next possible area for it to go, if this is just a bull flag, let me say we'll probably be up here. Look at that. Perfect, right? Measured move takes us up to about 52,000. That would be legit. So if it can stay above this 48,800, 49,000, I'd say, you know, plus 51, 52,000 might be in the cards for the Dow. If it starts to lose that 49,000, then you're looking back down to back down to the trend around 47 to 48,000. That's kind of what I'm seeing on this thing. Sorry, I'm just reading that message to see what it does. By the way, the live screen is not fully centered. Yeah, I know it's not fully centered. So what it is, look, the way it is set up, I can show you guys, like, see. I can see what you guys see right now because I'm watching it on my side screen, so I know what you're seeing. It's not everything in there. It's basically, you're not seeing this. So you're not seeing, like, all my little indicators and stuff. And you're not seeing, like, my actual tickers on the side. But that's just because that's the way it's just the way the horizontal setup is. You have to kind of center your trading view inside of it to make it work. Oh yeah, you're right. It did shift over. Shifted over a little bit. Let me fix it. There we go. Let me see if can you see what you need to see on this side? Yeah, I must have clicked off of it, but you can kind of see what I'm looking at now. So you can see my numbers here. Sorry about that. I did click that over. I must have moved the numbers to the other side. So you can, if you go here, well, you can't even see what I'm doing. Just forget what I'm talking about, guys. Yeah, sorry about that. Appreciate the heads up, though. Intel. I'll get the PayPal. Is Intel INTC? Yeah, it is. Well, we talked about Intel. Intel's just chopping, man. So, like, look at Intel on the daily, right? I'm gonna get rid of all the indicators. Just look at that. It's just chop chop. So, what I'd be watching for on Intel? Simply just watch this trend. Right? It's been up, then down, up, then down. Ultimately, it's in an upward slope, right? Like the highs is making new highs. It's making higher lows. So what happens next? I would say, yeah, today was a banger day, dude. So I would say if you start to lose this trend, it's probably back down here. You know, maybe it plays out like this. Almost back down here. And just repeats the pattern, you know? So if it's not broke, don't fix it. You know, the pattern's going to repeat until it doesn't. And where things change is if this thing decides it's going to break above this, or if it starts to break down from this trend line here. So those are the levels you need to watch. In the meantime, you're in a range, heading upwards. Where could it be headed? Let's see where it might be going. It might probably is making its way up to this $50, $51 level. If I had to guess, that's probably where it's going. Or wants to go. Doesn't mean it's going to get there, but that would be like the target that makes the most sense to me. So somewhere up there, at some point, we'll see. See if it gets up there. To the downside, I showed you the supports, but the major support you don't want to lose on the higher time frames to remain in a bullish structure is 35. You can't really lose this $35 low. You lose this $35 low, this whole thing could come crashing down, and your next support's not till down here. So you lose 35, 26 could be in the cards. If you continue up, you're looking at 51 for major resistance on the higher time frames. Nothing beats having triple-digit runners on a Monday for next week's options. Hell yeah, dude. Good for you, brother. Good for you. What else you guys want to look at? I saw some more stuff. Man, you guys are loading me up today, man. Normally I'm like begging you guys to throw tickers. Today I can barely keep up. So I appreciate you guys being involved and keeping the chat going and everything like that. It's nice. What else do you guys want? You said CRWV. CoreWeave. I knew I recognized that ticker. Motherfucker, I called this shit too. So, alright. Look at the pattern I have drawn out, right? This is a diamond pattern. This is a reversal pattern. I actually drew it out like a joke. I didn't throw it in the Discord. Because I was like, man, this thing doesn't look like a diamond. It's so oblong looking. It's just stretching, right? It's a reversal, right? Because look, you get the first low that gets put in, you sweep that low, and then you get a higher low. And then it just consolidates. It's a very rare pattern. It doesn't pop up very often, but it works like a head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, or like a double top, double bottom. It's just a reversal. But ultimately, CoreWeave is, I'm going to get rid of everything. CoreWeave's in a downtrend. Got to respect that. You always have to know in the macro where we're at. And right now, it is high, low, lower high, lower low. Until that flips, we have to respect it. But this is a good start. If it breaks this high at $90, right? This little high we just talked about, this little pattern, your next likely target's probably going to be up around 115. Why does that make sense? Well, you got this low here that we put in, right? That level was once support, but also look, just draw the trend line down and just imagine if price continued up the way it was going right now, just kind of eventually it gets to this level, it also gets to the top trend line. So that makes a lot of sense for resistance. So I think 114, 115 could be in the cards if we can break back above 90. So that's the key. Now also, let's look at this. If this is a diamond pattern, like I just said, or an inverse head and shoulders, whatever one you decide you want to call this. Maybe you see it one way, I see it the other. Either way, that's the measured move. Right? You take the width of the diamond, the thickest part of the diamond pattern, or you take the neckline to the bottom of the head. And then you basically, that's your measured move. That takes us up to that target we just talked about. So that's confluence for me. When I see a pattern, that measured move takes me to a level that makes a lot of sense in the charts. I almost start to think it's not a matter if price gets there, it's a matter of when it gets there. Don't trade on that, but that's just kind of how like my mind shifts. It's like, all right, well, we're going to see what happens. So CoreWeave, I think you break 90, you got a chance of going up to 114, 115. If it starts to reject here, well, let's look at what's below. I'm going to go to the 4 hour for this one because I want to get a little bit more. So look, we got a trend. That was the diamond pattern or whatever we're looking at. You also have the breakout. So you have a conjoining area. You have a pattern that it could come back into. If it's going to pull back, if it's not going to break out here, I expect this area to hold. If this trend is breached, bets are off. The pattern invalidated, thesis invalidated, trade's not there. But if this back test of this trend and the breakout can hold, there's still a chance. It could still do that and remain bullish. Yeah, I can do SOXL. So I think CoreWeave could go to 114, dude. If we can break above 90 and hold above it. there's a very good chance that it moves up to that area because look, there's just simply no volume. The volume fades. You see how this big gap right here happens? That's because volume, there's no real trading in this zone. Price moves quickly. Just like it moved down, it's going to move up. So if we can get above this thick volume here, it should allow for price to almost like shoot up. It's a breakout. That's what it is. It's going to be a breakout if it happens. So just keep that in mind on core weave. So that's core weave. What else are we looking at? We're looking at CME gap. Yeah, there are a lot of CME gaps out there. All right, iron, CIFR, triangle pattern, yeah. All right, let's go look at iron. I have iron actually. I have TA on this. All right, so iron was kind of like a freaking weird one, man. It's a data center, right? Look at this pump. Let's just talk about this pump. See that number? That's the percentage move. That's fucking insane. I'll get PayPal, man. I'm just going in order, dude. I'm literally going in order. I'm not like picking favorites or anything like that. It's just whatever's next. So look, we had this level I talked about on iron. It broke down, had a double top. Now what's it doing? It's putting in a possible higher low. It's looking good as far as structure goes. Why does it look good? Well, what? Let's just break it down. This is a shoulder, head, right shoulder. This is a complex inverse head and shoulders. What does complex mean? What's that thing that shows the volume? Hold on the side. Talking about this? What are you talking about? Oh, VRVP, VRVP. That's the indicator right there. The VRVP. It's one of my favorite tools. So look, that's a complex inverse head and shoulders. It's just basically a slanted head and shoulders. The neckline is slanted. It is represented as a trend. This is simple. It's a low, high, higher low, break a structure, breakout. That was your back test. This thing is headed up. It's starting to break this 48 level, which means it's getting acceptance back into this range here. So if it can hold above this, and let's just talk about the measured move. The measured move would take us probably almost there to this high here. So this is your next target on iron. You're looking at 54.55. This 54.74, that's the measured move of the breakout of this complex inverse head and shoulders. If it breaks that level, then you're looking at all-time highs. It runs simple from there. This is the last hiccup before the all-time highs again. So just keep an eye on that. On the short term, as long as you can stay above 42, market structure on the daily is up. It has flipped. It is now considered up. So this is where the market structure flipped on the daily, right there. You had your low, high, higher low, break a structure, market structure shift, and you have your back test confirmation. This is your mitigation. That's, I think, what Donkey likes to call it. So yeah, this thing's looking good, man. I think 54.55 is in the cards. And if you get above that, man, 75, 76 could come quickly on this thing. So iron's looking good. Let me go look at PayPal real quick. Then I got some other ones to look at. I forget, I don't even know what PayPal's ticker is. PYPL. Should know that. Oof. Alright. I'm being honest with you, dude. I don't really like the way PayPal looks right now. But it could be forming a bottom, so I'm not going to get too bearish. It popped, came down, it's ranging. This is the weekly. Here's our low. It says argue like that's basically the high right here. And everything else is in between, right? So where are we at on those levels? Well, We're by the low. It's not great. It's not great at all. Um, yeah, man. I guess if you were gonna look for longs, this is the area. But if you start to lose this low, dude, it's back down to these lows around 30 bucks. That's your next level. Lose this, it's 30 bucks. Um, I don't like the way it looks because it's got like the high, then the lower high. So it's got like that invert. It's got the head and shoulders look, dude. And look where the head and shoulders would take us. It's like it would take us back down to like these lows. So it's hard to get behind that, but I mean, look, you don't want to get bearish at support. If it starts to breach this 56 level, then it's probably throwing the towel. It's probably coming down. Like there's no, I can't make a bullish case if it breaks below that. If it stays above this, then hey, you're at support. The next logical area would be to start attacking resistance, and your next resistance is until 80 bucks. So if you can hold above 56, I mean, on the higher time frames, these are the next logical areas to go attack. So what broker do I use? I don't use a broker. I use Brightfunded as it's a prop firm. So I do my trading on a prop firm, most of it. But I also use crypto exchanges to do like derivatives and futures. And sometimes some of them carry stocks and like commodities. Most of them carry it, but it's by DeFi, and I use BTCC. Those are the two I use. And like I said, Brightfunded. Let's see what else we got here. So yeah, I mean, dude, if we could stay above 56, I see there's a shot maybe you get back up to 80. But if you start to lose 56, dude, $30 is in the card. So, but for now, just treat this like a range, right? So you can take a fixed range volume profile tool, draw that across like that, see where you're at. So right now, you're at the value area low. That's the blue line at the bottom. The POC is that $60 level. That's the area where price traded the most in the range. And the high is around that $78 level, the level I said we can go. So the rules of the volume profile, if you trade this style of trading, I use this more for like knowing where price may go on the higher time frames. I don't use this to trade necessarily. So if you hold value area low and you can get back above POC, your next stop is the value area high. Just the same way to the downside. If you break back in and you lose the POC, you come to the value area low. You think it's going above 100? It could, dude. Look, it could. If this is the low and this thing rips, man, if it breaks back above 78, this value area high, then your next level is 93. You're not that far from 100 at that point. So there's a possibility. I don't want to sit there and pretend like I know what it's going to do. Yeah, I'll get to Tesla. I do have to go in orders. Troops has been good. I think I did CIFR. I keep seeing that one. Let me go check that out. Cypher mining. Okay, I like mining. Mining's good. So where are we at on this thing? Well, I'm looking at a weekly. That was your look. This was the previous resistance. Came down, bottomed out, broke out, and now we're back testing. That's a weekly level. So as long as we're above that level, you gotta have a bullish bias, right? You start to break back down below $13, it starts to get a little more bearish. In the meantime, you're consolidating. That's all you're doing. You're kind of creating a little bit of a wedge pattern. You know, it could be a bull pennant. It could be a symmetrical triangle. It could be, it could be a lot of things. But if this thing breaks like this and does a back test, the first place it's going is probably 25.50. Well, not the first place, but it's eventually going to make its way to 25.50. Then what you can do is just take the width, throw that up there. Could make its way up to 30 bucks. That's basically what the breakout would say. The breakdown would be the opposite. It would take us back down to the bottom of the range. So it's either bottom of the range or it's going to like 30 bucks. So, but 25 would be like a nice area to maybe like if you were trading this is probably where I'd be targeting as a TP. Now let's talk about market structure because the market structure is good on this thing, right? We're forming support above this trend. So we know we're above resistance. We know we're above. This is what I like. You have a low on the daily. You have a high. Higher low, market structure shift, back test, and you're starting to consolidate. If you can pump up from here, break that trend, that is a daily market structure shift. That is a fucking great entry. There'll be a great time they'll be looking for a trade if this plays out, because you're right out. You're right up against trend. You got market structure. You're getting that mitigation, or you're getting that higher low that gets put in. This is normally where I look if I'm trading market structure on, let's say, whatever time frame, whether it's the 5-minute or whether it's the hourly, 4-hour, daily. This is where I look to get in. I look for that shift. I look for the back test. I look for the higher low to get formed. I would look to build a long, and this is just me. This is not me telling you what to do, by the way. I would look to build a long right around there. I would probably stop my stop somewhere underneath this low here, the previous low, and my target would be up here. That is a 4 to 5 risk reward ratio. So it's a 4 to 5 RR. Maybe a 5 if you stretch it. And the beautiful thing is once it breaks trend and starts to create new highs, let's say it breaks up, puts a new lower high in, guess what? Stop loss moves up with it. Stop loss can now go to break even. Or it can even go below this high once this high is taken out. So you can basically use market structure to basically enter your trades, and you can use market structure to manage your trades. Tells you when to get out if you have rules. If you guys don't have rules, you don't understand market structure, but you're interested, just join the Discord. We can teach you. Bullish, see it going to 24. I can see it. Yeah, I see. It does look bullish. It does look bullish, dude. It's a good call. I'm actually going to throw this one on my list. I'll probably post this in the Discord so people could see it. S-Bum. What is S-Bum? Silver buckle. Let's see what that is. I don't know if I can chart this, dude. What the hell am I looking at? Maybe I got the wrong ticker. That doesn't look like anything I can chart. TSM. Yeah. But I did do CIFR. It looks good, man. I think those are going Taiwan semiconductors. Yeah, right. Then, all right, we did look at this. It broke out. Let's get rid of some of my little squiggles. So this is the one that happened. I didn't know which way it was gonna go. If I'm being honest, I just basically draw them in both directions. One of them's gonna work. So what's it been doing? We've just been trending up, right? You break the high, you back test the high right there. You see how the back test breaks up, back test. We have a trend. This is our money line now. What were we doing the last few months? We were consolidating. We were consolidating in a sideways chop. We hit the trend. Now we're breaking out. We got the higher low. This thing looks like it's ready to keep going. If I had to guess where it was going to go, I would take the measured move, or just at least get a projection. Measured move of the bull flag takes you up to just about 400 bucks. So this could be the next leg up for this thing. This thing could run up to like 380, 400 if it keeps going. Invalidation for this, simple. You break back down below this trend. Well, didn't want to do that. You lose this trend at any point, that's invalidated. And then you expect that you're probably going to start to sweep some of the lows below us. Starting with this low here, around 276, then you start to go down to like 220 in those areas. So that's kind of what I'm seeing on TSM. It was a good one. Flush incoming. Yeah, probably. Thoughts on Tempest AI? I was waiting to it. It's around. What's the ticker for Tempest AI? I can type it in, but I don't know if that's it. Oh, TEM. So what are you saying about Tempest? How do I join the Discord? Tacticalwedgetrading.com is not working. Give me a second. Let me find the ticker for you. Let me share the Discord. Here, let me do this up here. Give me 1 second. I'll get you all that information. I'm going to pop some links in the bio. Well, I'll pop some links in the chat. Jesus, that's not what I wanted. That's not it. Alright, I'll have to, sorry guys, give me a second. I'll have to get that to you. I don't know how to send that to you right now through the chat because I have to like go into Discord and I'll have to like switch my screens up. Give me a second. So our Discord is Tactical Edge Trading. You can actually look us up. Are you rich? I wish. No, I'm not rich, man. I do okay for myself, though. So this is the name of the Discord, Tactical Edge. I didn't need you guys to see all that, but Tactical Edge Trading. Alright, this is not working. Hold on. There it is right there. So I don't know if you can look it up from that. I can. Should be in our bios. Not working in there. Is our TikTok bio not there? Tactical Edge it's not Tactical Edge Trading, by the way. It's tacticaledgetraders.com. So here, let me get you the actual website. So this is the actual website. All right, website is, I just threw it into the comments. So tacticaledgetraders.com is the website. You can access the Discord from that website. So yeah, we couldn't get the domain for trading, so we had to get traders at the end. All right, good stuff, man. I'm glad you got it. And yeah, guys, feel free to join, man. It's a free Discord. The website's great. We got a lot of educational comment on it. Content. Ugh, words. I will be rich one day, man. I guess rich is what you want it to be, right? How much money you need to make. So what was someone saying about Tempest AI? You said, I'm waiting till it hits around 68 low for a swing. Okay. So will it get down to 68? Well, it's trending up, sort of, right? Choppy trend, but it's there. Where are we at right now? Had a little bit of a downtrend. We've broken that downtrend. We've just flipped market structure on the 4-hour, right? But it hasn't confirmed yet. So this is our low on the 4-hour. That's our high. That was our higher low. And this breakout would have been the market structure shift, but we have to confirm. We need closures. Let me erase this real quick. We need closures above this high right here. So any closures above this high will be considered a market structure shift on the 4-hour. I would say you could get down to 68. It could go down lower. There is a gap right there, which makes a lot of sense for them to maybe go for. Is that why you're targeting 68? Is the gap? So if anybody didn't notice, this is a little CME gap here. Oh, that's not what I want, guys. Right there. A little CME gap. So they could come down for that gap. See how it bounced right off of it? So it basically finds support at these gaps. So it could come down and fill this around 67. That could be a target. I think that the key is not to lose this low here. So as long as this low is held, you know, the structure could be up for it. But yeah, I mean, I'd be looking down there too. It's not a bad area. And I'd say to the upside, I would watch these levels. I'll look at Soxel next. On the upside, I'd be looking at this level right here, 79. See, we front ran it, but we didn't hit it. I think they'll eventually go up there and get that. If this level holds and we want to move up, 79 will be your next level. And then above that, you just start looking up. I mean, really, if it breaks this trend and holds, you would imagine that then it would make its way back up to 104 eventually to sweep all the liquidity. But it's got to prove itself first. It's got a little bit of work to do. But hey, that's what it's been doing, right? This has been the pattern. It's been this. Up. You know, but basically overall making its way up. So you would expect to make its way back up again. if it's going to continue what it's doing. So that's what I'm seeing on that one. I think, how's path look? All right, so I'm going to do Soxel and path. I think those are going to be my last two guys because I think I'm going to jump off after that. I've been going for about an hour and a half. My eyes are about to fall out of my eyeballs, my eye sockets. You stare at charts all day. We were up. We got to remember, I was up trading at 8:30 this morning till about like 11:30, 12 o'clock. So I've already had like 4 hours in front of the charts. Like my work day is over. That was my work day. The rest of the day has just been kind of like life stuff. All right, so Soxel. I mean, man, look at this thing. So look, it's just look, it's in a range. We'll get rid of that. It's in a range. Let's just call it what it is. Range high, range low, right? Where's it going? Where's it at? Where's it going? Well, it's in premium. It's at the second half of the range, right? You drew the look. I'm gonna actually show you something. If you just draw the range in half, like, or you can do this too. There's another. I'll show you another trick. You take a parallel channel. I'm gonna show you the tool real quick too. What you use. So watch what I do. You take the parallel channel, go up to the trends, parallel channel here, right? Take the channel from the low, run it across, draw it up, right? That's your channel. Go into here. There's a settings bar that pops up. I'll show you right there, right? You go into settings, go to style, and then what you can do is you could put a line at the 50% point. So that's the halfway point of the channel. And then you can see if the channel is true, if people are really trading this as a channel or not, or trading it as a range, you'll see how price reacts. So you can see that price when it gets up to this 50% point, look what it does. Like, I'm not making it up. I literally just drew that in front of you guys. Like, it hits that, it finds support. So you can use this as support now. If you're trading a range. This is the premium section. This is the discount. This is where you want to load up on longs. This is where you want to start de-risking. If you're intraday trading, you can use this as support. All right, so we're just building context now. We have a trend. We have that 50% line, right? This was once support or resistance. It's now support. So look, your target's around this. It's basically from 70 to like 74. If price can hold above this trend, maybe it comes back down. You would expect eventually it's going to make its way up here. If it breaches trend and loses the 50% level, then you're coming back down to the range low. Simple as that. Above 50% above trend, you expect the highs. Below it, you're expecting the lows again. So I hope that breaks it down. You zoom out a little bit, hard to see price. Yeah, I was just zoomed out so you can see. I wanted you to see the tool. So that's the price action right there. So hope that works a little bit for you guys. I did go over PayPal already, man. Went over PayPal a little bit ago. Can you see the prices though on Soxel? I want to make sure before I flip off the screen. You can't see them? Does that help? Still zoomed in. The prices are on the right. You don't see them here where my cursor's at? Let me double check and see what's going on TikTok. It's showing on my live end, man. I see it. I'm not sure, dude. The right side is blocked off. What's it blocked off from? Here, let's see. Can you see it now? Am I just adjusting a little bit? I can't keep it there, unfortunately, but it's cut off. Yes. Okay, so this is the prices basically. You're at 54 above this trend right here, right? See this trend? Above trend, above 50% level, $40. Bullish. You start to lose that, bearish. $40 becomes support resistance, then you have problems. You're probably coming back down to the 10s. All right. I'm going to have to figure that out for now. I'm going to move this over just a little bit more. Is this still in sight? Can you still see that? I'm cool with you guys not seeing the left side. I want to make sure you see the prices. If you want, what I can do is this here. Let me see this works. Let me try this. How about this? Does this work better? I throw it on the left-hand side. All right, I'll throw it on the left-hand side. That'll make it easier from now on. So at least I know the left-hand side's not blocked out. If you guys can't see prices, just let me know and I'll adjust. So that was Soxel. Let's see what else we're looking at. I did that and made 100 cold calls, bro. Is trading hard? It doesn't have to be hard. People make it hard. That's the truth. Trading can be taught within. I can teach you everything you need to know about the charts in 6 months. Like literally 6 months. I get you from nothing to basically understanding, having a system, understanding risk management. The hardest part is the mental. It all comes in the head, man. That's always the hardest part. You can literally talk yourself out of a trade, and you could have the idea, but once emotions get kicked in, once you have some money on the line, there's a little bit of anxiety, your blood pressure goes up. Like it's a whole different ball game, man. You're playing on the. It's like if you've ever played a sport. You in practice, you're like, man, I killed it in practice today. Then you go out there in front of people and perform, and if you get performance anxiety, like some people do, you notice that your performance sometimes isn't as good. That's how trading can be too. Some people buckle under the pressure, so you just have to keep that in mind. Soxwell, somebody else had one more. I said I was going to look at. I don't want to leave before we do that. Path. Let's go look at Path. And I think that'll be my last one for today. Then I gotta call it because I'm pretty tired. I can only look at so many charts in a day, then I'm just like my eyes start to bother me. All right, so Path. It's definitely on its path. Let's just draw. Let's just do it this way, right? Let's just keep it as a range. Let's keep playing the range game. So Path is in the mid-range. It's right in the center. It's playing that 50% line. Actually, let's do exactly what I just did before. Let's not even change it up. Let's keep it exactly what we did. So look at that. Path's 50% line is resistance right now. So $18, $18.50 is resistance on Path. If it can flip that level, I would expect that the next level, it's probably going to make its way up to this 26, 27. Why does that make sense? Because of volume. Volume fades once we get above that level. Once we get above this level here, that's where the volume starts to fade, and at 26 it starts to pick up again. So I would expect get above, like I said, get above 18, 19, 26 could be in the cards. If you start to reject here at this 26 level, I'm going to go to the daily, take a look at it. You start to reject here, you know, you're probably going to start marking down. You got a low here around $13, $12, $13, and then you have the low around 10, like the actual range low. Those can all be monitored with a trend line if you really want to. But you can just draw supports and resistances. I mean, there's not really a good trend here. So I would just say, look, you got a CME gap right here to watch. Hasn't been filled yet. Could they come down here and fill this thing? Absolutely. So this gap right there. See that? They filled partial, but they didn't fill the whole thing. So that's support for me right now. That's where I would be looking for like longs if I was looking for like day trades. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my gap thing there. There it is. So I'd be looking for support around, immediate support around like 15.80 down to about $15. If we start to break back below this gap, the next major low that you don't want to lose to keep structure to the upside would be about this 12.60 area. You hold that, you're good. You're good for upside. What's starting to form here could be a higher low, right? If price action, and again, I don't even need indicators to see this, but I just want to check them just to see if they agree, if there's divergence, anything hidden that I can't see. Right now, no. But just looking at the daily, right? This looks like, it looks like it's getting ready to go, right? I was looking to see if there was divergence here. There is a little bit of divergence there. See how momentum's shifting down, but price action shifting up? That's bearish divergence. But it hasn't been confirmed yet. Or could have been confirmed, because it could, pull back a little bit. But look, we're starting to form a little bit of a low here, like a swing low. So if this swing low starts to attack this high, I'd imagine it's going to it's going to start to break into that level we talked about. So this could be support for now, man. Any dips back down into this 1580 area might be a nice area to accumulate a little bit. And if we start to break back above this 1850 area, then you start looking up into the 20s, I think. Further than that, I don't know, man. This thing's like been beat down so hard. Like if it gets back above $27, I don't know. This thing could just run up pretty hard. I imagine there's not much volume between us and there. So yeah. No. So here's the way our model works. We have a Discord. It's free to join. There are things that are gate kept. I wouldn't even say gate kept, but like you need to be a premium member to have access to. Those are just basically the lives, trading live with us. Like we actually trade live in the morning. We give our levels. We actually hang out. The reason we gatekeep that behind or I keep saying gatekept. The reason it's only for premium members. It's because we want to make sure that the people that are actually trading live with us, because it's me, it's Ben, it's Nick, the three people that run the group. We want to make sure it's people that are serious about trading. We don't want to have because we have a lot of free members there. We don't want to take away value from the paying members, people that are really serious about it. We also have mentorship programs. Those are different packages you can pay for. You don't need that to join the Discord and learn. Everything educational wise, anything you need to build a system is already in the Discord. It's free. It's on the website, but it's also in the Discord. We have a learning library. Ben's created some modules, cheat sheets, all those different things, tons of videos, like hundreds of hours. You're going to find hundreds of hours of educational content within the Discord and in the website that you can use. And that'll get you really up to speed to go to the next level, which would be like joining the live trading. And if for some reason you need it like extra mentorship, let's say you're trying to figure this out in like a couple, let's say you don't want to spend time learning on your own. You'd rather have somebody teach you. You can talk to like Ben or Nick about the mentorship programs that they have. So, but I mean, to join the Discord, it's free. All of our educational content's free. You just won't have that one-on-one mentorship that like some of the paid guys get. But you don't need it, honestly, in the beginning. I think there's so much information you're going to be absorbing. Like to have a one-on-one mentor in the beginning is almost pointless because he's going to be telling you you need to learn this stuff, so go learn it and then come back to me. We pretty much lay it out what you need to know. So we keep it really simple. Path going to 20 next week. Might be, man. It might be. What is my bet on bio? But I do teach people how to trade. Like I can teach trading. I don't actually teach anybody at the moment, but I help out the members. They have questions. They want to know about my system. They want to know about my strategy. I break it down. I even have videos in there. And crypto trading. No, we trade crypto. Mostly we scalp Bitcoin. That's our big bread and butter is Bitcoin. I've been trading gold and silver lately because they've just been a lot of fun, to be honest with you. Silver's been a blast. Like, how could you not trade this? Look at this. Just went straight up. But yeah, silver's been awesome, man. Oh, I might be taking another trade here. One second, guys. I'm sorry, I'm reading. You see NYC? No, what is it? Is that a ticker, or you mean New York City? Like actual New York City? I live in Philadelphia, so I mean I can kind of see New York. It's not that far from me. The coin. You mean like USDT? No, NYC. This? What's the ticker? No, it's not on there. Let me guess. It's on Dex Tools. Is it like a fucking meme coin? It's on. It's a Dex. Yeah, it's a meme. Is it? What's the? Yeah. If it's on Phantom, that means it's on the Solana blockchain, I guess. So is it on? It's either on Pump or it was on. Yeah, yeah. Trust me, I'm very, very well versed in the crypto space. Dex trader and pump, yeah, that's all I used to do. I used to love trading on dexes. Man, dude, I had whiff. Let me show you this coin real quick. This is the last thing I'm gonna talk about. Then I'm gonna jump off, guys. But I want to show you what this is. This is before Binance. Like I got to give you something before Binance. So it wasn't even on Binance when I was trading. It's dog with hat. It's the stupidest shit ever. But I'm gonna show you where I got in on this thing. So I'm gonna take away all the TA. I got in here. That consolidation right there. That was dog with hat. I got in sub 20 cents. I think I had a 12 cents entry. My buddy had a 4 cents entry. The one that told me about the coin. And this thing ran up 1100%. Yeah, I mean, dude, it is luck. It is luck because I'll be honest, I sold before $1. I didn't run it up all the way. I sold way before $1. I tripled my money. I quadrupled my money, I think. And I was like, I'm out. I'm good. And then it went in 20x, 30x, and I'm like, mother. I was so mad afterwards. But I mean, you can't really mad. If you get out with your money or you get out in profits, it's a W. And I'm gonna be honest with you. That's one thing we teach in the Discord, man. We teach you to be okay with small wins. Because if you're always shooting for home runs on every play, you're gonna miss so many shots because you're gonna round trip. And that's what the market does. But yeah, guys. Again, my name is Eddie. For anybody who didn't hear it earlier, doesn't know who I am, I'm one of the traders at Tactical Edge Trading. We have a Discord. It's free. Check us out. Give us a follow on TikTok. We do lives all the time. We're always doing market analysis. If you got a ticker, just tune in. My days are Sundays, Mondays. I'm an evening guy. I usually do about 9 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern is when I stream. Ben and Nick, they're doing daytime streams. They kind of vary. You'll have to tune in on their days. Their days are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. So later in the week, you'll get those guys. Yeah, man, check us out, dude. It's just cool, man. If you got like tickers, if you want to learn more about the market, you have questions, join our Discord. Check out our website. There's tons of educational content on there. It's all free. There's no fee to entry. Just check us out, man. And we're a pretty tight knit community. We all bullshit. We have a good time, but we're serious about like the markets. We're all passionate about it. I'm a full time trader. Ben's a full time trader. Nick's a full time trader. We're not the only ones in the group that are trading full time as well. And we have a lot of aspiring guys. We have this one guy named Bobby, right? And this I'll end off on this. Bobby's been working with Ben for about 3 months. When Bobby messaged Ben on Discord, he was a free person, free group member. He messaged Ben. He said, "Hey, could you teach me how to trade?" Ben said, "Yeah." He's like, "What do you know?" He's like, "Dude, I barely know how to turn a computer on." He didn't know what TradingView was. He didn't know how. He had no access to any of the exchanges. We had to teach him basically. Ben had I corrected. Ben had to teach him everything from what candlesticks were. Bobby's profitable now in 3 months from knowing nothing. He is profitable. He's been working with Ben 2, 3 times a week, following his rules and system and guidelines that they they built together. Ben helped him build it. And yeah, man, that's what we do, dude. If you dedicate it and this is for you, we can teach you, man. You got to be coachable. And anybody can be coachable, but you have to get out the mindset of being like, I know best. Even if you're smart, like you could be a neurosurgeon, nuclear engineer. I don't. You still like it's like you don't go into school thinking you know everything. You need or like go on the first day on the job and assume that you know everything. You need to kind of take that put your student cap on, and that's all we ask. If you can be coachable and you can take criticism, constructive criticism, will never make you feel bad. And you can learn from it and apply what we teach you because we've done it. We've made the mistakes. We know the pitfalls, and there's a lot of pitfalls. Then you'll be successful, dude. You can be very successful. But anyway, guys, that's the end of my rant. I appreciate everybody. Give us a follow, and stay tuned in, guys. Until next time, all right? Appreciate y'all.